welcome back to Wordwise. It's October and that means spooky season because I love all things haunted. I'm taking you way back into my travel archives to Corvin Castle. Transylvania is such a trip. I went chasing Vlad Tepes, aka Dracula, around the countryside. There are tons of castles and amazing towns that have ties to the legendary Vlad the Impaler, who wreaked havoc throughout this whole region. I followed his footsteps from Bucharest to Sighișoara to Sibiu. I had originally wanted to go to Pinari Castle, Vlad's real castle, where he impaled thousands of Saxon nobles. However, I noticed a few reviews on Google Maps explaining the angry bear population of the area. Check out this one guy who bribed a pack of stray dogs, enlisting them to keep the bears at bay. I thought for a second what a great story a wild bear/dog fight would make for my grandchildren, but eventually decided against it. Disheartened but unmauled, I turned my efforts to visiting another castle with more ties to Vlad than the kitschy Brands Castle. I took a train from Bucharest to Sibiu and began my research.
Thank you!
Regional public transportation was quite difficult, however, so I hired a guide, and it was the best decision of my life. Adela from Visit Sibiu took me on an amazing adventure, stopping off at some Roman ruins, and a Habsburg fortress at Albia Iulia.
Colegii mei, în timp ce se luptă, se vor opri și vor arăta zona în care au fost loviți în cazul care simte că adversar.
I will leave all of her info below because she is a godsend. Make sure to check out my blog also for more details. The highlight of our tour was Corvin Castle, also known as Hunyadi Castle. It is truly an amazing mashup of Disney meets Tim Burton, where fairy tale towers pierce the sky, fitted of course with deadly arrow slits that hint at the castle's dark past. Built in 1446 by John Hunyadi, the illegitimate heir to the Hungarian crown, the castle's primary purpose was to keep the Turks at bay. Legend has it, Hunyadi proved his legitimacy to his father with the help of a raven. So raven iconography can be seen throughout the castle grounds. Corvinus actually is Latin for raven. The castle witnessed untold brutality and bloodshed over its long history. Many battles were fought here via the Turks and the Habsburgs.
This is like a big maze over here.
Oh, so they have a lot of the
Sort of
castle.
an ultimate way to protect themselves in case they were taken by enemies.
One of the most imposing areas of the castle is the Knight's Hall. Grandiose Gothic ceilings cover a large space. Straight out of Game of Thrones, the castle has its own collapsing door that sent those judged guilty plunging to the rocks below to meet a certain death.
There was an accused, he was put over there. If the judge would say no, guilty, the victim was pushed down over there.
He just dropped in there.
A few meters down, there were rocks underneath, so it was death.
Interestingly, legend has it that Vlad Tepes was imprisoned in a cell below the Knight's Hall. Vlad was imprisoned for his enslavement of the Wallachian nobles in the building of the Pinari fortress. Yep, that fortress with the bear/dog fights. Speaking of bear fights, captured Turkish soldiers really got the worst of it. There was actually a bear pit built to hold wild Romanian bears, which we know clearly from Google reviews. They have quite the bloodlust. Prisoners would be dropped down into the pit to meet their gruesome demise, all within view of the king's bedroom window, which was situated right on top. They would just drop prisoners just straight in?
The entrance was from here.
Eventually, the Ottomans looked elsewhere in their expansion, and Corvin Castle became pretty obsolete. It fell into disrepair, and a fire broke out when a lightning bolt struck the tower near one of the main kitchens. Yet out of the tragedy came new life. Rich investors of the neoclassical era saw a ripe canvas to paint a perceived representation of medieval Europe straight out of Walt Disney's playbook. This led to the hybrid mishmash of Gothic and neoclassic Renaissance style architecture that splits the castle into authentic versus synthetic.
This is the Renaissance part with these arches
Oh, yeah,
that are
the
round,
arches.
and the Gothic is the ones that are like in a sort of a triangle.
Yeah.
Look at these frames over here, everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Today, Corvin Castle remains one of the most well-preserved and interesting castles throughout Europe. Take a look at my blog link below for more historical details and how to get to this place, because it's honestly quite difficult. Thanks for watching, and keep a lookout for more spooky content this October. Bye!